Republican presidential candidate and former U.S. President Donald Trump gestures with a bloodied face as multiple shots rang out during campaign rally at the Butler Farm Show in Butler, Pennsylvania. According to the Secret Service statement, the shooter was dead, one rally attendee was killed and two other spectators were injured. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has called the shooting an attempted assassination. The FBI has identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks as the subject involved in the incident. The agency has deployed investigative agents, evidence response teams and other personnel from across the country for further investigation.
This evening we had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene. As I mentioned, we have a number of agents on scene. We also are working closely with other federal agencies, our state partners, and our local police partners as well.
The FBI says that motive behind the shooting is still not clear and is being probed.
Stands with the people of Butler County in Western Pennsylvania. The FBI has deployed a number of our resources. We have intelligence analysts as well, working from our field office in Pittsburgh, working feverishly to attempt to identify the individual who did this and any motives behind why this was done.
Issuing a statement on Truth Social, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America." After the shootout at former U.S. President Donald Trump, his campaign has issued a joint statement stating that the leader is doing well and that he looks forward to further campaigning. They clarified that Trump looks forward to the 4-day convention in Wisconsin's Milwaukee to nominate him to serve as the 47th President of the United States. All right, and joining me on the broadcast today is Lieutenant General retired Sanjay Kulkarni, former Director General Infantry. Sir, first of all, thank you so much for sparing out your valuable time on this broadcast.
Thank you, Siddharth. My pleasure.
Unfortunate incident. What happened in US has sent shockwaves to the entire world. Assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump. Motive behind the attack is still not known. Do you agree that it holds utmost importance to know the motive of this incident, which intelligence agencies are working on? Well, there may be some international players associated or a personal motive.
Siddharth, thank God that the ex-president of America is safe and that the Prime Minister, as also all the world leaders, wish him a speedy recovery. And I'm sure with the kind of the way he went about pumping his fist and saying, you know, America is great and that he is absolutely fine is very, very encouraging. Having said that, positively, there is no place for violence in our society. And it's a great threat to democracy. Conspiracy theories will fly left and right, but definitely there was an assassination attempt. And as it turned out to be, that 20-year-old man named Crook turned out to be such a big crook that he could attempt to do such a thing on the ex-president of America. I think everyone, including Biden, immediately, though he was in church, stepped out and felt bad. They pulled out all their advertisements today, nothing to do with the election, and the entire nation stands behind this kind of a total nonsense. It is not expected, and definitely, all said and done, in any democracy, any democracy anywhere in the world, it's very important. Healthy debates must be there, but not this kind of a violence, because then it spoils the atmosphere. And sure enough, even Mr. Trump also, I think, has taken an extraordinary step by telling his people that none of them must comment on the incident that has happened, and that we must stand together and make America great. And that itself means making democracy stand for it, and that's a very good sign, Asada.
Okay, I'll just mention what you were saying. Thomas Matthew Crooks is the name of 20-year-old guy who allegedly shot Donald Trump. FBI has identified him, the alleged shooter, and also seeks additional information from public. Do you think this will speed up the probe, and if there are others associated in this, they would soon be nabbed and interrogated?
Sure enough, because this person, I understand from the reports that we read, was about 130 yards away. Obviously, he couldn't have just come so close. 130 yards for a sharpshooter, and the thing which has pierced his right ear is quite indicative that he had been positioned well, and there would be others also. It's unfortunate that he is no more, because since now all of whatever has been planned for is dead. And therefore, there is nothing that we would now know other than detailed investigations with the FBI would now carry on. But sure enough, this was a very, very close save for him. I think absolutely very close, 130 yards, and a bullet just bursting his right ear. And sure enough, he had a bloodied face. But despite that, the way he stood for, I think is great.
Okay, sir, what happened in the United States today with Trump is not something new. If we go in history of United States, there have been attacks on presidents and candidates, and the list is long. In a country like United States, these incidents are certainly flabbergasting, considering the fact that there are trillions of dollars spent on intelligence and defense. What more needs to be done to prevent such incidents in future?
See, despite all that we may have, despite all the intelligence, you can't get into a human mind. If he's a lone wolf and if he hasn't disclosed anything to anyone, what's in his mind and what's carrying on is very, very difficult. You can have any amount of intelligence, whatever have you, but what's in his head, and if he has not disclosed it to anybody, it's very difficult. Of course, Mr. Biden himself has been the first one that there should be gun control in USA. That gun control had been opposed by Mr. Trump himself. He believes in it. Yeah.
Definitely.
So in this particular case, I would say, Siddharth, very difficult, extremely, extremely difficult, and therefore to have your eyes and ears everywhere to find out what is going on. But sure enough, in this kind of a rally, when you know that the people are going to be coming, and especially when Mr. Trump, who's, the particular election itself is going to be of a very, very close one. And the society is polarized. And as polarized society, I think one has to be very, very vigilant and not let people with at least guns in a radius of at least 500 meters for sure. Because snipers can take on anybody from anywhere. And they've had incidents. They've had President Kennedy go. They've had so many of the presidents being assassinated. So they ought to be more careful. And I'm sure this is something which the Secret Service and the FBI will understand that it's very difficult. Lone wolf actions, extremely difficult, Siddharth. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, gun laws, you were just mentioning them. There have been lots and lots of debates regarding gun laws in the United States, but nothing substantial has come out of it. Do you think this incident will have some impact on the gun laws there, as a Second Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees the right to bear arms?
I think it's very essential. Absolutely, very, very essential. You cannot, the society will get more polarized. The society, maybe in the society, one set of people having arms, more than one on occasions, and the other probably none. I think it's not a good thing to do. And the gun control is a must in America. We've seen so many incidents, school children, either public places, malls, and anybody, especially these days, the stress on human factor is so much, you don't know what kind of things are happening. As you saw this crook doing such a activity, a lone wolf can do anything. And if there is no gun control, and if you can pick up a gun from any other shop and do this kind of a thing, I think it's extremely dangerous. And a gun control is a must in the United States and a must everywhere, all over the world.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in on the broadcast today. And thank you so much for your analysis. The assassination attempt on Donald